Thanks for tuning in to yet another Halloweenie Reviews hosted by Why Blank is Cool. To get a preview of what movies I've got lined up next, be sure to check out my Tumblr. Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is, without a doubt, an amazing horror movie. I'd even go so far as to say it's an amazing movie, period. George Romero's follow-up to his legendary Night of the Living Dead, moving the action from a small farmhouse in the woods to the cities and suburbia. This movie is bigger in scale, but retains what made the original so good, which is a very thoughtful analysis of human nature and our vices. In this case, consumerism, examining a small group of survivors fighting for their lives in a mall. I don't think I need to say much more about Dawn of the Dead. Its legacy speaks for itself. But a part of that legacy that I love talking about because of how weird it is its international release and what followed because of its title change. Try wrapping your head around this. First, it was released as Zombie. Then, when a similar enough movie was looking for its own international release, producers figured they'd just bring it into the Zombie franchise and call it Zombie 3. But what about Zombie 2? I guess Dawn of the Dead counts as both Zombie and Zombie 2, officially. Then, 4 more zombie movies were hastily retitled, because, of course, none of them were made with the zombie franchise in mind. If you want a sense of just how lazy these retitling got, the zombie franchise lists Zombie 6 as coming out in 1981, and Zombie 7 coming out in 1980. Anyways, the original Dawn of the Dead gets 2 out of 2 movies in the zombie series. Both of them are Dawn of the Dead. The Re-Animator. H.P. Lovecraft's spoof of Frankenstein, adapted by Stuart Gordon, The Re-Animator is a comedic take on the mad scientist creates a monster genre. Whether the comedy was fully intentional, that doesn't really matter. This movie is filled with funny imagery and decisions, and joining me to discuss the absurdity of it is my own father, who watched this movie with me over the summer and had a great time basking in the corny nightmare that is The Re-Animator. Take yourself back to the summer of 2020, watching The Re-Animator with me. What was your reactions at the time to it?
Yeah, I did go back and review. Quite honestly, I think it's better the second time than it is the first time, because you don't know what to make out of it the first time, because you're trying to give it the benefit of the doubt that it actually is a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got some sort of, I guess horrible things in it.
Yeah.
Does anybody really, when he takes off the head of his
with the shovel, with his
with a shovel,
yeah,
with a shovel, and puts it in the box,
and then he has to keep it. It keeps falling over, so he uses paper, like a note thing to hold it up. Yeah,
it's funny, and it's less. You're less trying to avert your eyes than you're just sort of like you can't believe.
Yeah.
That's going.
That's a great way to describe it. Yeah, the whole end sequence where people's like intestines are just coming out and like wrapping themselves around stuff. Yeah. It's just like absurd. Like it crosses that line from, I guess this could be shocking, into just outrageous so quickly.
Right.
Yeah, and that's how the whole movie is, which is fun, honestly. I think Stuart Gordon was very self-aware when he made it.
You killed him. No, I did not. I gave him life.
And if they had just tried to make a 1985 Frankenstein with a different, because that's what it is, it's the Frankenstein story.
There have been a couple of remakes of like Frankenstein. I'm trying to think. Kenneth Branagh did one.
Yeah.
Of Frankenstein.
Yeah, and that was around the same time too.
They're taking themselves way too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
What was fun about the 1950s, 40s, and 50s monster movies, yeah, they had monsters in them, but they didn't take themselves seriously.
Yeah.
And so you don't take them seriously, so you can just enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I would welcome a chance to watch it, again.
Yeah.
Particularly if we were to watch it together, because I think we would just sit there and have a great time. But when he whacks his professor with the shovel,
mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't. It's funny.
I give it 2 reanimated corpses and 1 reanimated cat out of the 6, I think, total that there were in that movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 corpses
And 1
1
cat
cat.
out of the 6 total reanimations.
I might give it a little bit more. I might give it 3 reanimated corpses and 1 reanimated cat.
Cool.
A little bit more.
Mama. I think if you have a friend who's interested in getting into horror, but hasn't seen a lot and wants a good place to start, this is it. Mama has everything a good horror movie should have. A compelling set of characters, a great villain with enough interesting backstory to motivate the plot, and, of course, some awesome horror sequences. And I think the plot is what makes this movie work so well. 2 young girls are abducted and then saved by a ghost who decides to raise them, until they're discovered.
Hey, Bernsey!
But a bizarre, nightmarish custody battle ensues when the girls' new adoptive mother, the girlfriend of their uncle, who is quickly painted out of the picture, and the mama spirit clash, both fighting for what they think is best for their girls. It's an interesting premise, where the mama spirit isn't wholly the bad guy at first, but as she becomes more and more jealous, we get to see some interesting dynamics emerge between the maternal figures set up in this movie. I think this film is extremely solid, so I'll give it 8 black moths out of 11. Hopefully, none of us ever encounter any of those, am I right? Thanks for listening. Here's a sneak peek at a movie I'm watching for my next batch of reviews.
You need healing too. Don't be afraid. Just open your mind. Let's go back to where it all began.